And this is when I said, all right, well, I just need to cold email someone at Amazon that's really high up and get them to fix this problem, which is like pretty much unheard of if you know anything about Amazon, selling on Amazon. So I spent an entire day writing an email. Essentially the only person that I could get an email for or find somehow was the head of the electronics department. I was not selling in electronics, but somehow got his email, wrote a perfect email. And I've had some emails in my life that have completely changed my life. So if you ever have something that's really important in life, really put the time and the effort into it, because this made me $1 million more. All right, so essentially describe the problem completely, how it benefited him, exact action steps that he needed to take, who he needed to contact, everything perfectly laid out there. So all he had to do was forward it to the right person. So I sent it out, and it was just a prayer, Hail Mary. Wake up the next morning, said, okay, did it. It's like, holy shit, he did it. I didn't think that was gonna happen, but he did it. So essentially what they did is they went into the Amazon warehouse, because one of the employees, or one of the guys that was working with me, had essentially told me he used to work at an Amazon warehouse, and he said there's a little green light that you could give to a product or to a box, and essentially if the green light happens, that one just goes in front of everything. So we were hoping to get the green light, and we got the green light by doing that. So he went, contacted all the people at the warehouses, they got my product, green lighted it, now it's good and selling. But some of my listings still aren't up, and I still had to deal with those now. So every single minute counted, and I needed to get the most out of people that were working. And what the problem was a lot of people were spending time on their cell phone. They weren't very incentivized workers. So what I determined was, how do I get it so that people are not on their phone? How do I get it so that they're having ideas of how to make this system better, and that I don't have to do it all? Because if you're trying to force people to do something, it's never going to work. In my personal experience, I needed to create a system, and instead of enforcement, I needed a system that would make them have the ideas and do it for themselves. So essentially we started to pay people per glass instead of per hour. And guess what? They all tripled their production rates. They have found all these ways to remove the errors. They found all these great ways to make the system more efficient, because they were making money. And guess what? Nobody was on their phone anymore. It was a miracle. When people actually see a result of their work, then that works for them. But Jenna, it didn't work, because she was my wife, or wife-to-be, and essentially it was, well, no matter how much money we make, I don't add much marginally here, so she wasn't incentivized by the money. So what we found with Jenna was that we had to say, hey, if you cut this entire roll of film, because it's $30 to cut, and we were at a rate where they weren't all gonna get cut, essentially I said, I'll buy you a camper if you cut that entire roll of film. So then all of a sudden she started staying up until midnight every night cutting that. She's like, ooh, I'm gonna get a camper. Like, she loves it when I mock her like that. So the reason why she wanted a camper was that it was essentially represented freedom and the ability to go travel. So the reason we were doing this was to make $100,000 so that we could go travel the world. Well, this was the way that we could go travel the US. So camper was freedom to go travel the US whenever we wanted to. So that's what motivated her. So not only did some of these FedEx packages get there late, some of them didn't even make it at all. And all of a sudden four of these big packages showed up at my house. I'm like, what's going on here? So yeah, FedEx just totally blew it. All right, so we had to start shipping all the packages out of our house because we couldn't get them into Amazon on time now. So essentially we said, okay, I told everybody, hey, we're done by August 6th, which was Jenna's birthday, of which we had to go buy a camper on that day because Jenna couldn't wait for the eclipse to be over. We had to get the camper right now. Absolutely, right in the heart and heat of everything, so we went and bought a camper then, so which actually ended up being useful in a little bit. So we ended up turning the entire house. Now it was a factory. Now it's like, okay guys, this is now a shipping factory, and we're gonna start shipping stuff directly to consumers from our house. So at this point in time, everybody had gotten kicked off who didn't have the legitimate glasses, so there's only a couple of us left, and the entire country of course had procrastinated. So that's the way that things were going. So we were getting a crazy amount of orders. So we were selling about $200,000 a day at this point. Things were nuts. So as a result, we had to start raising prices. So we were selling them for about $2 a glass, and then we kept going up and more and more and more, and all of a sudden we got up to about $24 a glass at one point, and I could have charged a lot more, but I had to set a mental barrier of, hey, the most I'm actually going to charge is the cost of a price of movie per person, because this is the best movie that you're ever going to see. It's a once in a lifetime event. And it's originally going to be the price of maybe a discount Tuesday movie ticket, but then it was like, okay, it's the normal price of a movie, and then eventually we decided, what is an IMAX 3D movie ticket price cost? Because what is that? It's about $24. So it was like, all right, that's going to be the maximum that I'm going to charge, the IMAX 3D movie price. So things are absolutely nuts. We're selling like crazy. I think at one point we had sold like, I don't know how to describe this craziness. There's so much to describe. And so I don't even know how to describe this craziness because so much went on in such a short period of time that my life was just chaos, complete chaos. I was barely sleeping, probably about 4 hours a night, and I don't remember too much, but we were shipping out such a crazy amount that the post office couldn't even handle it. We would go and essentially we had to get about 6 post offices near us, and we would even bribe the employees at the post office with not with postcards. We would even bribe the employees of the post office with gift cards so that they would actually go and process our shipments, because we had to get them out right away to the customers because there was only about a week left until the eclipse. And sometimes they would just say, well, I don't want to ship out 3,000 packages, like only a couple hours left to the shift, I'm gonna leave for the next guy. And then the next guy would be like, I don't want to deal with that. And then so essentially they wouldn't be taken care of, so we had to find a way to incentivize them to actually do it. So we got to the point where things were so chaotic that Jenna just decided to quit. All right, she didn't want to do it anymore. I had promised her that she was going to be done by her birthday on August 6th, and that didn't happen. So she decided, I'm done. All right, whatever. I said, okay, that's fine. You can go upstairs. So I went downstairs right after she quit and went upstairs, and I called my supplier and I said, can I get some more? All right, so this is August 15th. The eclipse is on August 21st, and I was essentially selling some of his stock wholesale stuff, and he said, like, I'm all out. I can't do it. And I said, no, I know that you have some left. What does it cost for you to get me some? All right, so everybody has a price is the lesson that I've learned. And he said I couldn't possibly do that, and I said I know that you can, I just have to pay more, and let's make this happen. I've helped you a bunch, you've helped me a bunch, let's make something happen here. So he said essentially we agreed that I would pay 15 times what I normally paid, and it may sound kind of crazy. So I bought these glasses from my supplier, paid 15 times what I normally paid. Then I put them on Amazon, all right? So this is like last day, Tuesday. Eclipse is on Monday. They don't ship on the weekend at all. I've got to make this happen somehow. It's like, okay, I can do it. I know the owner of FedEx. He gives me a box at the Grizzly game. We can make this happen. So I put them up on Amazon, and we sold $180,000 of them in 1 hour. That's how crazy things were at the end. And then basically in 2 hours they were on the plane. So I've made a phone. Jenna quits. I go downstairs, make a phone call. 2 hours they're on a plane. 1 hour they're 180 grand sold. It's like, wow, we got all these, and now it's the last day that we're gonna ship out. So I had all the employees there the next day. They come in the morning, and we started working and trying to ship all these out. So it was a crazy amount of glasses, and I started doing the math, and I started to realize pretty quick we weren't going to finish shipping all these out, and I didn't want to ruin a bunch of people's eclipse experience. So I said, all right, guys, we got to start working harder. And then people started to leave, and I'm like, all right, for everybody who's left, I'm going to pay you guys $200 an hour. Like, we got to do whatever it takes to keep you guys here. So hit everybody $200 an hour, bought a bunch of pizza and like coffee, and we all stayed there until about 3 in the morning, finished packaging absolutely everything up, like looking around the entire house, looking for the last eclipse glass, because we had oversold a couple. We oversold a lot. We didn't know exactly have the best inventory management in-house. And so looking for all of them, got them all packaged up, shipped them all out. And then now I had to deal with all of those glasses that were in the Amazon warehouse that I couldn't remove, and all the ones that essentially the listing were closed. So now I had sold glasses, but I couldn't ship those out to people. And so now I just had $500,000 of glasses sitting in Amazon, and I now had to find a way to get those to Amazon customers in 4 days. All right, so things are hectic. I now have shipped all of this out, and I'm getting 1,000 angry emails a day saying, where are my glasses? Where's my tracking? I'm like, I don't know. I shipped it out. I don't have your tracking number. Like, I've just got a couple of people here. I have no idea where it is. It's going to get there, I hope. All right, we shipped it all out. Now it's up to the post office, and essentially forces out of my control. Now there's also this fact that I'm trying to get all the stuff that's still locked up in the Amazon warehouse on the closed listings and ship those out to other people. So this is $500,000 sitting there waiting for me to take or lose. So I now have 1 day to try and figure this out. All right. So essentially, I've got my stuff selling in Amazon. That's going great. I just sold my other stuff. By the way, in this meantime, I stay up for 48 hours in a row. In this next 48-hour period, I sell $1 million of goods, and of that, it's about 75% profit. So I make $750,000 from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed. Like, I've just never seen anything like this in my wildest dreams. I'd gotten and I'd set out to make $100,000, and I just made $750,000 from waking up and going to bed. But I've got to finish shipping out all the rest of these orders. So now I've got this, and I'm trying to do all this crazy inventory reconciliation because I can only ship these orders out one by one, and I've got just over 10,000 of them to ship. I'm like, I can't do that. It takes a minute to 2 minutes to do each one. Like, it's literally impossible. So basically, I tried doing it, figured it out. I was able to upload a file and do some code, and anyways, I ended up getting all of it completed, done, uploaded it, bought overnight shipping, and guess what? I missed it by 15 minutes. I lost $367,000 by 15 minutes. If I would have got it there 15 minutes earlier, I would have made an extra $367,000. That really hurt. So it's like, ugh. So it just goes to show that every little bit counts and adds up. If I wouldn't have gone back and in the beginning I'd done the right thing, I would have gone bankrupt because all my listings would have been taken down and I wouldn't have been able to sell. All right, little bits all there. If I wouldn't have gone and got all my shipments in time, or if I would have kept fighting for that one listing in the beginning and not gone on to bigger and better opportunities, I would have missed out on so much. Okay, so just along the whole way, all of these different factors, it just really takes what is the I guess the best way that I could summarize it is you got to think about what is the craziest thing that you can do and go out and take massive action and just keep taking action, getting feedback, and never giving up and not getting discouraged when things go wrong, because there's always something greater right around the corner. But essentially, if you don't go and move on and actually get through those hard times, then you're never going to get to it. So we've gotten to this point. I've shipped out as many orders as I can, missed the shipping deadline on some, and now it's time I have to go and see the eclipse because I can't just serve. So in total, I sold over 1 million glasses. All right, I can't just go and sell and help 1 million people view this and not view it myself. So I had to go and view it. All right. So and we had to drive, and essentially there was clouds coming in. So we had to calculate, where the cloud's going to be, because you can't really see the sun if there's clouds. So we calculated that Casper, Wyoming was going to be the best place for us to go see this. So we essentially we took that camper that my wife wanted to get so bad, so it did have some use for us, drove across the nation, and this is now with like 30 hours left until the eclipse. So we're like on our last leg here. We've got no time to spare, driving through North Dakota, like Montana, in the middle of the night, and there's just deer going in front. My wife's freaking out. We're driving there, getting there anyways. Oh yeah, and the whole time I'm sitting there in the passenger seat trying to respond to emails, but I go and I respond to an email and I get 10 more by the time I respond to one. I'm like, there's no winning this game. But I'm really afraid because Amazon is holding $2 million from me. All right, and essentially if I get my account banned because of bad performance, which I might, because this is a crazy shit show, I've been worrying about it the entire time, getting my account banned, then all of it's for nothing. So worried, and essentially at one point I just had to close the laptop and be like, I can't respond to all of these, and their classes are either going to get there or not. And went to sleep, woke up in Casper, Wyoming, and we went to a Walmart, and it was crazy. Essentially, an entire band of where the total solar eclipse was going to happen, the eclipse people took over. All right, we went to a Walmart parking lot. There had to have been at least 100 campers there. All right, people are having fires in the Walmart parking lot. There's just everything. It smelled like weed. Like, they took over. The Walmart employees were telling everybody to leave, but they're just like, we don't care. So essentially, all the eclipse people took over everything. So we took the camper, went to sleep somewhere else, woke up, and now it's the day of the eclipse. So on the day of the eclipse, we're super excited. It's kind of partially cloudy day, but then it ends up being a blue sky. So this is great. Everything's happening. Like, I'm all jacked. Everybody out. The whole town. Everybody's celebrating, and it's like, wow, this is a once in a lifetime experience. Everybody's been waiting for this. And then I see people around with my eclipse glasses, and I actually saw more people around with my counterfeit glasses, because I was the most counterfeited product on Amazon that summer, I believe. So I'm like, ugh. Actually, when we actually viewed the eclipse, the people right next to us were wearing fake counterfeits of my glasses. I was like, oh, sweet. Anyways, we go there, and it's like 20 minutes to the eclipse. Like, yes, I'm so excited to see this. And all of a sudden we look up and I see like a big cloud in the sky. All right. It's like, no, you can't, this can't be. We're in the middle of 2 mountains. All right. So there's like a little narrow path that we can go. We can't navigate and go anywhere else. And it's just like, this cloud is coming. And essentially it's just like counting down to when the eclipse is happening. It's just coming closer and closer and closer. And then about maybe 10 minutes before the eclipse, we're like, we have to move. So we started driving, and it was like the final countdown, okay? So we're just driving. I'm just flooring it up the mountain with a camper behind me. And like, we're just trying to outrun this cloud and get to where the eclipse is going to actually happen. Because like, I just spent my entire year on this. I helped a million people. Like, I got to see this damn thing, okay? So we get up there, we get to the mountain. We end up just like, there's nowhere to park though, because it's like a one lane road up the mountain. So everybody else is parked off to the side, and we have a giant camper. So we ended up finding a place that we could find. Like, we pulled into some dude's driveway and just parked there, and then just like got out, got there, and then just looked around, and then we saw the eclipse happen, and it's super cool. Probably the coolest experience, just sitting there, and of course the eclipse was beautiful. The sky turns dark, and you just see the horizon. You just see a sunset 360 degrees all around you. All the animals start to go crazy. The dogs are howling, the birds are going nuts, just like they are right now. The birds are going nuts, and just a really cool experience. You should go see a total solar eclipse if you haven't at some point in your life. So I'll be going to see it in Argentina in 2019. You guys should be, or go see one at some point in your life, maybe 2024. Come buy my eclipse glasses in 2024. After the eclipse, just in a sense of awe, we went in the car, and it just didn't even feel real. It's like, I helped a million people view this. I saw it myself, and it's completely changed my life. Not just financially, because that's not even the most important part. What it was is just seeing that you can do anything that you set your mind to. And then we went into the gas station after, and this was probably one of the best experiences of my life. Just going and watching the news and looking at social media, and the entire nation for once was actually focused on positivity. And that's what I'm focused about with my entire life. I want to live in a more scientific and positive world, and it was like the perfect world. I've helped save the nation from, it's not me only, but I helped be a part of saving the nation from going blind, helped people view a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and everybody was focused on positivity and science, and actually wondering how the universe and how this world works, and focused on what's good and what could be. Whereas most of the time the news and what the world and society is focused on is gossip and bullshit and stuff that doesn't actually matter. But for once, the whole world was focused on what I wanted it to be for one day. And that's my vision for the future, is that we're all thinking more positive, more scientific, and about what life could be and what we could make out of this life. And that was one day, but in the future I think it'll be better. And so my final takeaway for all of you would be that money doesn't bring you happiness. So what actually was more fun about this whole experience was just seeing that I could do whatever I set my mind to, and that if you don't let your limiting beliefs hold you back, you can do anything. But you got to have a right purpose and never give up and go through anything. So I'd actually found that I wanted to make all of this money so that I could go and travel the world. But I made more than I had ever imagined. My goal was to be a millionaire by the age of 35. But that was just because I kind of thought that's what society wanted, and that's what meant success. And then I got the money, and I thought I'd retire. I tried that for a little bit. But then what I realized was, hey, money doesn't bring everything. It removes pain, and it removes the work that you would have to do. So if you're in a painful situation, it'll remove that, but it brings nothing additional. All right, it may bring you some materialistic things, but those fade over time. And essentially, I felt depressed for a while. It was like, but wait, this was like the secret to success and everything. And I found that I was actually happier going through hell through the eclipse than I was with the money after. I was like, what is that? And what I realized was that it's all about building and progressing and growth in life. And it's not about essentially, here's the best way that I can put it. Most people think that you live your life like here, and then you hit the money or retirement, and it goes like this on happiness spectrum, and then it stays there forever. But what the truth is that it's a continuum. It's always getting happier and sadder every day. There's ups and downs to everything. But essentially, what we get to do is we get to choose the direction, okay? And essentially, if people would focus on doing something that they love and focusing on why they're doing things, so there's going to be times where you have to go through those downs and dips, but if you know that you're going for the right place or for something that matters, then it goes back up to where you want it to be, okay? But if you lose a purpose or you're not working towards something that you care about, then it might just be going ups and downs to somewhere where it doesn't really matter at all. So working on something, so essentially finding something that you enjoy doing on a daily basis and or that you're working towards a bigger vision that you truly believe in, I think is going to be the best way to get happiness and fulfillment. And so that's what I'm doing with this channel, is I'm working on my path to happiness and fulfillment. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm figuring it out each and every day. I find out something that I love every day, like animals, vislas, alpacas, nature, my wife, my family, making creative stuff, telling stories, and all sorts of other stuff. So I'm sharing what works for me and what doesn't. There's things that don't work, and there's days I'm pretty miserable, and there's days that I'm happy, like today, because I get to share the story with you guys, and it's a beautiful day, and there's sunshine. And another happy day was when I achieve a goal, something I'm truly proud of, like this day with the solar eclipse. So I hope that this story has inspired you guys. So subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, let me know what you guys thought of the story, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.